ma-ho-sive thank you to TheSpookyRaven for sending me a message and letting me know that TK Maxx is starting to stock their Halloween decorations, because I never would have known otherwise. Now, because we were on holiday, I couldn't go to the usual TK Maxx which I go to, so we ended up going to the one in the nearest town to where we're staying. It wasn't the biggest TK Maxx, so I wasn't quite sure whether or not there's going to be things in there, because we had been to Matalan and their range was even smaller than the actual small Halloween range that they already had out. But I was so excited when I saw that on the end of one of the aisles there was a whole Halloween section, and I went slightly crazy. A few things I got are for some Halloween swap boxes that I'm doing this year. So I'm not going to show you everything I got, I'm just going to show you like the main part. So I'm just going to start with this big piece, which is a candle holder. So this is obviously a spider themed candle holder. I know that they've got quite a few different types of candle holders out this year, especially in TK Maxx, and I have seen some also in Matalan. So it has sort of 3 different sections for putting your tea lights in, although it is slightly larger, so you could possibly fit a small pillar candle in, which I think I'll probably do. And then for the main part of it in this middle, it's got this nice spider web with the spider on. I really like the fact that it's not like completely symmetrical, and it kind of has this sort of old tree look to it because all the wire is kind of wrapped around each other. And then on this kind of separate one here, it does have a little hanging spider from a chain. Now this seems to be really, really well made. It's made out of metal, so it's not going to melt or anything when you put your candles in it. And it costs £9.99, which is relatively cheap when you consider how big this piece is. And it is quite heavy as well, it is quite sturdily made. I think this will look so good on my Halloween table this year. I am doing a Tim Burton themed Halloween party, and I thought that this would fit in really, really nicely. The TK Maxx which I went to, there was only one of these, but as I said, it was quite a small one, and this was tucked right at the back behind all the other pieces, so I was quite glad that I moved a few things around and found this, because it was kind of camouflaged against the background. So the next things I got are kind of more for a craft project, and I have been looking for some of these for a while, and I got these 2 skulls. They are slightly different in size and shape, and the reason I wanted them is because I have a craft project in mind which I want to complete. Now I want to make this one into the Joker, and I want to make this one into Deadpool. Okay. And I'm gonna just do that with acrylic paint, but I needed some relatively cheap sort of resin skulls which weren't too big but also kind of a lifelike size as such. Now this one is kind of perfect because it's a sort of a more of a matte black, whereas this one is sort of a shiny white colour, and it has an almost like marble texture to it. Acrylic paint pretty much sticks to anything, so I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. And I was quite surprised about how cheap these were. As you can see, there's kind of little marks and cracks and loads of sort of detail to these skulls which make them look slightly more realistic. And because I wanted this sort of level of detail, I was going to be looking about like £30–40 per skull. So I was really excited when I found these, and I thought even if I can't use them for the craft project which I'm hoping to, they'll still look really cool as just decor. There are probably about 20 different skulls there, and they were all sort of varying colours, but I definitely like the black one the best. It was my favourite one, although it's sort of like the least realistic one. But there's also ones with kind of like gems and diamonds and studs and things on it, but I kind of just preferred the kind of classical plain look to the skull, and I'm going to be kind of decorating it in my own way anyway. 3 snow globes, and they're all really well wrapped. I don't actually own any kind of like Halloween-y or like spooky snow globes, and it wasn't until TheSpookyRaven showed me the ones that she got, I was so excited. And when I got to TK Maxx, they were literally everywhere. They were so full of them. Now most of them were kind of like wedding ones, so if any of you are planning like a gothic or Halloween themed wedding anytime soon, definitely go to TK Maxx. Some great kind of like wedding snow globes with like man and woman skeletons, like in cars and getting married and on bikes and things. So there's a really nice range of that, but personally I wasn't really too interested in that. So I of course went for a little haunted house. Now this totally reminded me of the Addams Family house. It has this big gate at the front, and it kind of goes around into a wall at the back. And then of course the snow globe at the top. Inside the globe itself, it's got this kind of big 3D sort of gothic mansion with all the lights turned on. And then it does also have some trees in there as well, and a little graveyard at the back. I'm going to shake it to show you sort of my favourite part of this snow globe.
Shake, 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 yeah.
Now if you look really carefully, there's loads of tiny little bats which fly around the haunted house, and I absolutely loved that little feature. Now I'm not sure why, but I've got loads of glitter that's kind of stuck here. It's probably just where it's been sitting in the bag overnight. It's probably something to consider if you're going to buy one of these is to keep it upright. And I was quite pleasantly surprised by the price of this. It is a very big and heavy sturdy piece, and it only cost £12.99. Now the bottom of mine is a little bit dirty, so I don't know if this is possibly left over from last year. I have seen a few kind of replates which I wanted last year and couldn't get my hands on, so I was lucky to get them this time around. So I'm not sure if this is last year's stock or anything, but it's in perfect condition. And it seems to be the same brand as the actual candle holder. Now a tip for if you are going to TK Maxx, if just like the one I went to, there's just kind of a little part of an aisle with Halloween stuff in, definitely have a look down the other aisles, like the aisle and the kitchen supplies and things, because I kind of just looked at that aisle and then I was ready to go, but it wasn't until we kind of walked down the other aisle I started noticing other little bits. So the next thing I got was a set of tea towels. Now this is a little bit of a spoiler because I am actually only going to keep one of these, and I'm going to give the other one of my friends that I'm doing a swap box with. I thought that these are absolutely ingenious. I absolutely loved the pattern on them. It is kind of a washing line, and then it's got a witchy hat, a nice like sort of witchy dress, some witchy stockings, and then it has a ghost hanging up and some witchy boots. And then it kind of just continues the pattern all the way around. And then of course it has a little spider sort of hanging off the end. I got this because I thought it was such a kind of like cute sort of creepy piece, and it's quite unique. I haven't actually seen this before, but I also thought it was hilarious that the ghost was on the line. I've been on the lookout for a certain type of ghost, because I know that one of the people I'm swap boxing with is very particular about her ghosts, and I thought that this seemed to be a perfect ghost. I may be wrong, but she likes them with the rounded head, without arms, and without a crazy tail, so I just thought this was perfect for her. And luckily there was two in the pack, so there's one for me and one for her, and for both of these towels it's $4.99, so they are slightly more expensive. However, these seem amazing quality, and they're also 100% cotton. I don't know if I'll be actually using these as tea towels because I think they are so pretty, and also because they're white I don't want to like stain them or anything, but I'm sure we could do like so much more with it rather than just using them as a tea towel. It could possibly be used as like maybe made into a cushion cover or something, but I just thought it was a really nice print, and there's a lot of things you can do with tea towels. So the next two things I got, they need a little bit of a clean, like they definitely look a little bit dirty, but they are these two black plates. I do know that with kind of like matte black plates they do tend to look a bit dirty anyway, but I'm going to give these a bit of a clean, and then I'll be hanging them up on my wall. It does actually say on the back of the plate that it's not for food, it's only for decorative purposes. The reason I like them is that the skulls are really detailed. I absolutely loved the design, and I feel like they went together really well because obviously they're from the same kind of company, but they are slightly different. At first glance I thought they were exactly the same skull looking at each other, but it kind of looks like a couple. Maybe this is the boy and the girl skull. You can see they are super detailed. I really love this style, and this is actually sort of almost like a transfer. You can definitely feel the difference between the white and the black of the plate. But honestly, because I'm not going to be using this as food and it's not really intended for food, this doesn't really matter at all. As you can see where I'm holding it, it's kind of getting a little bit dirty, so it is going to need a good sort of like polish and then to be put up on the wall and left there. I did also buy two other plates. I think altogether there were 6 plates in TK Maxx, and I bought 4 of them, so I pretty much cleared out their plate selection. But I did see some plates I absolutely loved last year and I just couldn't get my hands on them, so I thought this year I'm not going to let them slip through my fingers again. The plates were $3.99 each, and considering the amount that kind of gothic homeware things are if you're just buying them offline, I thought that was a really good price for this style and size of plate. Now this is kind of like the smallest and most simple snow globe that I got all together, but I just really liked how simplistic it was. As I said, there was a ma-ho-sive range of snow globes, but this was the only one which had a pumpkin in. Well, in the store I went to, this was the only one which had a pumpkin in, and I absolutely loved it. I loved how kind of 3D he was and how detailed it is. Now the thing I liked about the other snow globes is they weren't overly glittery, because I do find that sometimes like really glittery items can begin to look a bit tacky. This does have a little bit of glitter in it, but I feel like it's done in a really kind of particular way, and it kind of looks antique-y in an odd way. I'm upside down. So it's a very sort of classic shape. It just has a plain black bottom, circular top, and then it has this pumpkin inside. I love the actual colour variation within the pumpkin. He's not just like completely orange, he has sort of yellow and orangey tones within him, and then he obviously has this nice black stalk as well, and he has this little mask on. So at first I was kind of a little bit annoyed that he didn't have like a cutout face, but I do think this has a very sort of unique look to it, and it kind of reminded me of a cat mask. Like I felt like it was a mix between a cat and a pumpkin, so I just felt like it was a perfect mix. And of course when you shake it, it's got lots of little bats which fly around, so you've got pumpkins, bats and potentially a cat all in one globe. Now this again was $12.99, and as you can see it is actually a slight bit smaller than the other one which I bought, but it is from a different make. It's still got like a skull on the tab, but it doesn't actually have a name or anything. But as we all know, TK Maxx do sell like a whole range of different companies' pieces, and although it's not from the same company, but that it fitted in with the other snow globes that I bought. So next up I got some more tea towels, and these again are a completely different make. It's from a make called Shamuk. I know that they do stock some kind of more plainer tea towels within TK Maxx, but I just got these for the very, very obvious reason that they're completely covered in bats. Again, they are 100% cotton, which means that they're such a nice material, and the actual print itself, just like the other tea towels, is actually fully printed onto the material. It's not like a weird transfer or anything that's gonna peel. It's gonna stick there. I'm not too particular about my bats, but I really liked the shape of these, and I liked the kind of colour variation between the black and the orange. I probably would have been just as happy if they were all black, but I feel the orange adds a little bit more Halloween-y feel to it. I also like the fact that they are different sizes and shapes, and although the pattern is kind of repeated all the way down, I still feel that it kind of looks like a massive swarm of bats rather than just a complete repeated stamp. Again, there are two in here and they cost me $3.99, and I'm going to open them up because they seem from the measurement that they're quite big. So I would say they're kind of on the larger side of a tea towel, as large as the tea towel would need to be, and I'm holding it upside down, which is great. So next up, I will show you the item which I was literally longing for last year and couldn't find anywhere. I'm not sure why I was so drawn to it, but it is this bat plate. I have seen really similar ones to these in, I believe it's Michael's. I think it's a craft store in America. I'm not quite sure, but I always see like so many really cool pictures of all their pieces, and I'm always so jealous because there's always like pieces like this with like vintage bats and things. I'm just like, oh, I really wish I could go and get them. Anyway, I saw that TK Maxx had kind of similar sort of illustration of a bat, which always gives me this kind of like Victorian vibe. And again, it's on a plate and I collect plates, so I was like, oh, I really want this. So when I saw a stack of different plates when I went into TK Maxx, I was like rifling through them and I found this one and straight away it was in my basket. Again, this is not food safe. It is for display only, which is absolutely fine because I wouldn't want to be using this anyway. And the only thing I'm not 100% keen on is these like weird little bones which are sort of around the plate, but really you can't tell too much that they're bones from a distance. It just looks like a bit of a border pattern, and it does have sort of like a dotty pattern around the outside, and I do like that it's not completely even. It almost looks like it's been hand drawn. And then of course the main man is this cool little bat, which again has that really kind of sketchy appearance to him. Now along with this plate I also got another one from the same series, look away if you're scared of spiders, and it is this kind of like, I think it's a tarantula. So like a little tarantula plate, and it has like really furry detailed legs. Now if you look so closely to this, I don't know if my camera will even pick it up, but there is like a tiny bit of writing all the way around his legs, so it looks like he's been taken from like an article or like a magazine or a newspaper or some kind of like illustrated book, and he's kind of been cropped out and put on the plate. But he is so detailed and I felt like they went quite well together. Now I'm not the biggest fan of actual spiders in real life, but I really like them within my decor, and I just felt like they went quite nicely together. I felt like I needed to get the set. Now there were also two other plates. One I have completely blanked what was on it, and the other one there was a skull on it, but both of them felt like they went together. I think it may have been a skeleton hand. I'm not quite sure, but I just felt like it didn't completely go with these two. Like I wanted to get two kind of animal ones, and then the other ones I felt like I should leave for someone else to get because they went quite nicely as a pair as well. Now these plates again were $3.99. It seems to be kind of like the common price in TK Maxx for their plates. if I do come across any other plates of this style with a different animal on them, I will definitely be getting some more because I feel like they will look so nice, like hung all in one sort of section. Now the last thing in here, which I'm going to show you because the rest is for my Halloween swap box, is another snow globe. With my Halloween swap boxes, I know I haven't really mentioned them much this year yet, but I did do some videos last year. If you are interested in checking out the kind of thing I did, I basically stick to a kind of certain roundabout price, and I make boxes for my friends and then they send ones back. So this year I'm sending a box to the same lady who I sent to last year in America. I'm also sending another one to another couple who I met through YouTube, and also one of my dear friends in England. So this year I'm on a total hunt. I have like a list on my phone for every single person and what I'm looking for, and I'm trying to keep track of everything I'm getting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a whole video a little bit closer to Halloween. I'm planning to send these off around the 10th of October, maybe the one from England a little bit later. And I'll do a video just as to what I've put in the box, how I decorated the box, and then I'll also do an unboxing for the boxes I get back. But that just means that you'll probably see some more kind of TK Maxx decorations a little bit later on, but definitely I can tell you, I'm literally looking at the things right now, and I would 100% guarantee go into TK Maxx and you'll find some things that you really, really like. So this next snow globe has a complete kind of different look to the other ones. It has skulls that go all around the bottom. At first, I wasn't too keen on this. I felt like it looked a little bit kind of tacky, but the more I kind of looked at it, the more I liked it. And then inside it has a little graveyard scene. Again, it has the same kind of twisty tree in the middle. As you can see, all of the little gravestones have little details on them. I think they all actually say RIP on them. And then in the middle, there is this kind of twisty tree. I also like the fact that there is this kind of black cross here as well. Give it a little bit more color variation. And it kind of adds in with this black and white twisty tree. And then of course, on the tallest one right at the back, I can actually just show you from this side, it has a little black bird, either a raven or a crow, but it does give that kind of very gothic look to it. And obviously the floor is just green, and again when you shake it, you get these little black bats and things which are floating around. So other than having to buy these really sturdy £1 bags, that is everything that I'm going to show you today from TK Maxx, and I'm sure it'll be the first of my many Halloween hauls. I am really hoping to do a matalan haul soon. I have seen a few bits which I really like, and there's these plates from Matalan, which I am after so much, but I've been into Matalan while I've been on holiday and it was just too small a store to have stocked them. So hopefully I'll have a Matalan haul soon, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably have a second TK Maxx haul at some point, because I was only looking at just the end aisle. Like, imagine when they have a full aisle full of Halloween, I will go absolutely insane. So thank you for watching. Also thank you for everyone that's been sending me messages and leaving me comments, letting me know when they're seeing little Halloween things pop up. In England, it's not really too common to see them until further, like to the end of September, but some shops are getting a little bit earlier, which is great. So thank you to everyone for letting me know when they're seeing stuff. It's been really helpful. You have a lovely weekend. I do have some other little hauls coming up because I have been to Boscastle today, so of course I bought lots of things. If it is this sunny where you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I will see you next time. Bye!